Today we're going to learn how to make the Forge. The Forge is the most useful and the most complicated to understand. It takes a bit to learn since the opposite of everything else in this game, in that whatever is in your inventory does not matter. It's what's smelted into the Forge that matters. I like to think of the Forge as a bank. Now, these numbers here represent what is in the Forge, or how much is in the bank. When looking to craft something, the recipe is looking at what's smelted to see if it can make it, not what's in your inventory. To smelt things in the Forge, or say make a deposit, just click and drag the item into one of the empty slots. All you need to do is turn the Forge on. There's no specific smelt button. Then it's just a matter of clicking craft on the recipe you need, and then finding it in the output box. Now, to make a Forge is actually a two-step process. When it's day 1 or 2, it's something to keep in the back of your mind of what you're gathering, but needs to be number 1 priority once you've chosen a base of operations. The first step into making a Forge is crafting a bellows. The main difficulty of the bellows is the fact that you need either 20 pieces of leather or 20 animal hides. When you're out scavenging, use an axe on certain couches to get their leather, and when you're hunting animals, make sure you use a bone shiv or a knife to harvest them so you get more hides. The other part of the bellows, and also part of the Forge, is you need a short pipe. So you need 2 short pipes total. And if you can't find them, you can always just axe a toilet and they'll give you one. Once you have everything, both the bellows and the Forge can be crafted in your backpack. But note that the bellows works just like any other recipe ingredient. Once it's made, you don't need to put it anywhere. You just have it in your inventory and then you make your Forge. So now that our Forge is made, let's load it up with materials. In my box of supplies here, I have a gathering of the most commonly smelted items. So the top row here will provide a ratio of 1 inventory item to 5 smelted items. So for example, this raw iron here, 1 raw iron will melt into 5 iron in the Forge. Regular iron, brass, and lead, those will smelt 1 to 1, and then these are some common objects with none to barely any use. And normally I just scrap them, but instead you can melt them in the Forge and you get more out of them than if you just scrapped it. So now that we have some materials, let's look to our tools. Now, just like the campfire, there are 3 permanent tools that unlock specific recipe. The anvil is the easiest and almost a joke of a tool since it's made in the Forge itself and doesn't need any tools to make it. So all you need is just some iron and some clay to make an anvil. It's the very first thing you should craft in a Forge. It's very easy to do and it unlocks some good stuff like iron arrowheads or the cook pot or the grill, useful really early on items. So once it's made, just click and drag it and look for the little 1 to confirm that it's there. Now, unfortunately, the next 2 tools, the calipers and the tool and die set, are unfortunately scavenged only. You cannot craft them. You have to find them. To find them, I would look in the Working Stiffs store. I tend to have the best luck there. Also, you can find them in very rare occasions. They'll drop from a zombie or from an airdrop. Although, it's not the end of the world if you don't find either the calipers or the tool and die set. Especially the tool and die set, since it's only used for making rockets for the rocket launcher, which is a very end game thing. It's not something you're making on day 4 here. The calipers, however, unlock bullet casings and steel arrowheads. The bullet casings obviously used to make bullets in the workbench, and steel arrowheads are used to make steel arrows and steel crossbow bolt. Now, some of the items aren't going to be unlocked through mere gathering of the tools, but instead you'll have to unlock them using a skill. Most of the recipes are already unlocked with a lot more added with the anvil, but some require an actual skill to be bought in order to use them. The main one is steel smithing, which level 1 will unlock steel and steel arrowheads. Unlocking cement mixing will allow you to turn stone into cement. And finally, to unlock bullet tips or casings, you just need to buy 1 of the bullet making skills. And that's the forge. For me, figuring out the forge was all about learning that it's just like a bank and that my inventory didn't matter. Once I had it down, it was just making sure that that forge was always filled with something, always melting something, and then that way I was scavenging the forge was also working at the same time. And if you have any questions about the forge or anything else, just ask in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching.